You used to walk into a room and people noticed. You used to have opinions that were asked for. You used to feel like you mattered in the conversation. And somewhere along the way, quietly, gradually, without any announcement, that changed. Now you sit at the dinner table and the conversation happens around you, not with you. Now people speak slightly more slowly to you, or finish your sentences, or nod politely and then move on. And you have been telling yourself, this is just getting older. This is just how it goes. But here is what nobody has said to you clearly. What you are feeling is not imaginary. It is not self-pity. It is not weakness. It is one of the most powerful signals the human mind and body can send. And once you understand what it is actually telling you, everything changes. Stay until the end, because the last thing we share today is something that has more evidence behind it for improving quality of life in seniors than almost any medical treatment available. Welcome back. Today we are talking about something that affects the majority of seniors, but is almost never discussed in a doctor's office. Feeling invisible, feeling irrelevant, feeling like the world has quietly moved on and left you behind. These are not small feelings. They are not things to push past and ignore. They are signals, and they deserve to be understood. First, let us talk about what is actually happening in the brain when you feel this way. Your brain has a fundamental need that does not diminish with age. The need to feel seen, to feel that your presence matters, to feel that your knowledge and experience have value to the people around you. When this need is consistently unmet, the brain responds with a stress response. Cortisol rises. The nervous system moves into a low-level state of alert. And here is the part most people do not know. Social invisibility, feeling consistently unseen and unvalued, produces a stress response in the brain that is biologically similar to physical pain. Not metaphorically similar, biologically similar. Brain imaging studies have shown that the same areas of the brain that process physical pain activate when a person experiences social rejection or invisibility. This is why it hurts. Literally, the brain is not being dramatic. It is processing a genuine threat signal the same way it processes the signal from a burn or a wound. And a brain under sustained stress, sustained cortisol, produces real, measurable consequences. Inflammation increases. The immune system weakens. Sleep quality drops. Memory and concentration suffer. Blood pressure rises. The risk of depression climbs. Feeling invisible is not just emotionally painful. It is physically damaging, over time. Why does this happen more after 60? Several things change simultaneously that create this experience. The first is retirement. Work is not just income. For most people, work is identity, structure, daily purpose, regular social contact, consistent feedback that your skills and knowledge matter. When work ends, all of that ends at once, and the void it leaves is larger than most people anticipate. The second is the shift in family dynamics. The role of parent, needed, consulted, central, gradually becomes less active as children become fully independent. Grandchildren arrive and are wonderful, but the role is different, less essential, more peripheral. And the transition from being needed to being loved but not needed is something few people are prepared for. The third is the cultural reality that Western society genuinely does undervalue older adults. Youth is celebrated. Speed is celebrated. Novelty is celebrated. The accumulated wisdom, patience, perspective, and resilience of older adults is systematically overlooked in most workplaces, media representations, and social structures. This is not imaginary. It is real. And recognizing it as a systemic issue rather than a personal failure matters enormously. The fourth is physical change. When mobility reduces, when hearing changes, when energy decreases, participation in the social world naturally contracts. The dinner party becomes harder. The spontaneous trip becomes more complicated. The easy social interactions that used to replenish the sense of connection become less frequent. These four things together create a specific experience that millions of seniors share, but rarely name. The physical consequences of sustained social invisibility. This is where the science becomes genuinely important. A major review published in the journal Perspectives on Psychological Science analyzed data from over 300,000 participants and found that social isolation and loneliness increase the risk of early death by 26 to 29%. 26 to 29%. That is comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Loneliness and social invisibility are not soft problems. They are cardiovascular risk factors. They are immune system suppressors. They are cognitive decline accelerators. The research consistently shows that seniors with strong social connections have lower rates of dementia, lower rates of cardiovascular disease, lower rates of depression, stronger immune function, and longer lives than socially isolated seniors with otherwise similar health profiles. Connection is not a luxury for seniors. It is medicine. what your body is trying to tell you through these feelings. When you feel invisible, when you feel that the world has moved past you, your body is not telling you that your worth has diminished. Your body is telling you that something you need is missing. And what is missing is not youth. It is not relevance in the abstract cultural sense. It is not the particular role you used to have. What is missing is connection that feels mutual, contribution that feels meaningful, presence that feels seen. These are needs, real, biological, measurable needs. The same way hunger is a signal that the body needs food, social invisibility is a signal that the mind and body need genuine human connection and a sense of purpose. The signal is not the problem. The signal is pointing to the solution, what actually helps, and what the evidence says. This is the part that has more research behind it than most people expect. The first thing is contribution, not connection for its own sake. Contribution. Research from the University of Michigan found that seniors who regularly helped others through volunteering, mentoring, supporting grandchildren or neighbors had significantly better physical health outcomes, better cognitive function, and lower rates of depression than seniors who received support but did not provide it. The act of contributing, of being needed, of having knowledge or effort that benefits someone else, activates a specific neural pathway that is associated with well-being, reduced cortisol, and improved immune function. You do not need to be young to contribute. You do not need to be fast or physically strong. You need to find the area where your specific accumulated experience, patience, or presence can be of value to another person. For some seniors, that is mentoring younger people at a workplace or community level. For some, it is teaching a skill. For some, it is simply being consistently present for a grandchild or a neighbor who needs reliable company. The form matters less than the act. The second thing is finding your people, not people who happen to live near you, people who share a genuine interest or purpose. Research on longevity across cultures consistently shows that seniors who belong to communities built around shared purpose, religious communities, hobby groups, volunteer organizations, walking groups, live longer and healthier than those without such community, regardless of socioeconomic factors. The shared purpose is what creates genuine connection, rather than mere proximity. If you do not currently have a community built around something you genuinely care about, finding or creating one is not a small task. It is one of the most important health decisions you can make. The third thing is physical movement in social contexts, not exercise for its own sake. Exercise that brings you into contact with other people, walking groups, gentle fitness classes, swimming, tai chi in a park, dance classes. The combination of physical movement and social contact produces synergistic benefits on brain health, mood, and immune function that exceed either in isolation. The fourth thing is asking for what you need. This is the hardest one, and it is the one most seniors skip. If you feel invisible at family gatherings, if conversations happen around you and not with you, naming this to someone you trust is not self-indulgence. It is communication. Families are often not intentionally excluding. They are distracted, busy, absorbed in their own world. They do not know what they are doing because nobody told them. A direct, calm conversation with an adult child or a partner. I want to feel more part of the conversation. I have things to contribute. Can we find ways to make that happen? Is not weakness. It is advocacy for your own well-being. And it is far more effective than suffering in silence. The reassurance before we finish. Feeling invisible after 60 does not mean your worth has diminished. It means the structures that used to make your worth visible, work, active parenting, physical presence in the world, have changed, and new structures have not yet replaced them. That gap is real, it is painful, and it is not permanent. The seniors who navigate this transition most successfully are not the ones who pretend it is not happening. They are the ones who name it, understand it for what it is, a signal, not a verdict, and then take deliberate action toward contribution, community, and connection. Not because life at 60 or 70 or 80 is the same as it was at 40, it is not, but because it can be meaningful, connected, and purposeful in ways that are entirely its own. You have not become invisible. The light has shifted, that is all, and you can move into a different light. Today we covered why seniors feel invisible and forgotten, and what that feeling is actually telling you. The neuroscience of social invisibility, and why it produces a genuine stress response in the brain, identical to physical pain. The 4 reasons this experience is more common after 60, retirement, shifting family roles, cultural undervaluation, and physical change. The research on social isolation and longevity showing it increases early death risk comparably to smoking. And 4 things that genuinely help. contribution, finding your people, social movement, and asking for what you need. Share this video with someone who has gone quiet in a way that worries you. Not because they are sick, because they feel unseen. They need to watch this today. Subscribe for a new, honest, simple health video every week. We will see you next time.